Dontrez has a bruised leg. Reeves has a groin injury. DeAndre Ayton filled in for the Big Three with 29 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 block shots. The Lakers are 6-2. The Clippers came up 1 point short last night against Miami. Better ball handling might have changed the outcome. The Clippers committed 20 turnovers in their 120-119 loss at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. 29 points and 8 assists for James Harden. The Clippers are 3-3. The college basketball season tipped off last night. The UCLA women's team, ranked number 3 in the country, beat San Diego State 77-53. The Bruins have their sights on a return trip to the Final Four. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
If you missed the recent Left Coast Forum, then you really missed out. An insightful presentation from Professor Richard Wolff, a call to action from LA Mayor Karen Bass, an insider's view on Prop 50 and the government shutdown from Congresswoman Sidney Kamlager-Dove, and as usual, Dr. Cornel West brought down the house with a powerful closing keynote.
KBLA Talk 1580, standing with you in perilous times. If you've been impacted by the federal government shutdown or the discontinuation of SNAP benefits, you can find a food bank near you that's offering free groceries by going to lafoodbank.org or call 211. Additionally, LA County offers free meals at certain parks. There are meals and snacks for kids and seniors. Visit parks.lacounty.gov to find out which centers are offering which programs and to register in advance. And in addition to offering 2 free meals per day for all students, the LA Unified School District provides weekend meal kits for its students by request. The meal kits can be picked up on Fridays at grab-and-go locations. Please visit lausd.org/Cafe LA. That's lausd.org/CAFELA. We keep us safe. We keep us provided for. We keep us connected. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. I am being joined in studio by 2 of my very formidable colleagues. Dr. Melina Abdullah is here. You know her. She's a host of This Is Not a Drill here on KBLA on Saturdays. She is the director of Black Lives Matter Grassroots, lead organizer for BLM Los Angeles. Hi, Dr. Abdullah.
Hi, Sister Dominique.
Dr. Abdullah was my previously scheduled guest, and I'm really happy to see her. We got a lot to talk about. We're being joined this morning by a legendary, iconic broadcaster, talk show host, author, and activist. Don't forget the activist part. He happens to be the owner of this radio station, and his broadcast typically follows mine Monday through Friday on this station. But today he is joining us live in the studio with some breaking news and an important announcement. Tavis Smiley is with us. Good morning, Tavis.
Good morning, Dominique. Good morning, Melina. How are you both?
Good morning.
Good. Yeah, anxious to hear what you have to say and glad to see you.
No, glad to be here. Wish I were here under different circumstances, but I take the integrity of this station seriously. I take my work seriously. I take your work seriously, and the work of all of our colleagues, including Dr. Abdullah, who hosts her show, of course, on the weekends. And if a black talk station is about anything, it ought to be about always making sure that we represent an agenda that is about the best for black people and not allow people to push agendas that are antithetical to their forward progress. And so when these fires broke out in Altadena January 7th, we sent you out there days after to do your show live.
Yep.
From Altadena. We've done town halls in Altadena since then. We have another scheduled for this Thursday, literally 48 hours from now. And so we have made it our business. We assigned ourselves to be the station of record for Altadena specifically. Everybody else was talking about the Palisades, and I God bless any and everyone who suffered any tragedy around these fires, no matter where you live, never mind your color, creed, origin, or anything else. We have prayed for those families, supported those families, wish the best for those families, and want to see as speedy a recovery as possible for everybody. But we have been particular and unapologetic about our advocacy on behalf of these black families in Altadena. And so we have made this station a space for conversation, for interrogation about anything and everything Altadena. That show, as you well know, is called Conversation Live. Altadena Rising. It broadcasts every Saturday and Sunday here on the station, hosted by our colleague James Farr, who I think is calling into your program later this hour to offer his perspective on what I'm about to say now, because James and I were up all night discussing this. So we have scheduled a town hall for this Thursday, and we have worked for months, and I mean months. This was supposed to happen. This Thursday town hall that you've been hearing about on KBLA was supposed to happen in September. But Southern California Edison has dragged their feet week after week after week in finally committing to do this, and then committing to having executives participate on the panels. You were there the last time we did it. You and Dr. Corte, Nicordelai hosted, moderated the two panels. I brought greetings and sat down and took it all in, but you moderated one panel expertly. Nicordelai moderated the other panel. And so we are set for a town hall this Thursday, and I've been in the middle of all of this because I'm the guy who's been talking to Southern California Edison, trying to get them to commit to be a part of this town hall and then tell us again who the participants are going to be. They dragged their feet. So something that was supposed to happen in early September is now happening in November. And I've been, bothered and chagrined and frankly just, beyond the way they've delayed confirming their participation. But then yesterday rolled around on Monday. After agreeing to do this, they hadn't confirmed who the panelists were going to be. They initially told us that their president, their CEO, Pedro Pizarro, the person you've seen out front talking about all of these issues, Mr. Pizarro, they initially suggested would join us. They reneged on that. I don't have the time to go through all the things that Southern California Edison has reneged on in trying to schedule this town hall for Thursday. But when yesterday rolled around and they had not yet confirmed who the panelists were going to be on the first panel and on the second panel, I personally got involved. James Farr has been tracking most of this for our station. But I personally got involved yesterday and sent a message to some executives at SCE saying, I demand that we know by the close of business today who the executives are that are going to sit on this panel, now that I understand you've reneged on sending us Mr. Pizarro, your leader. And the response was, who should we call to talk about this? I responded, there's nothing to talk about. We just need the names. We're 72 hours out. And they bypassed me. I was on the air. I'm actually texting all this stuff while I'm on the air doing commercial breaks yesterday. And so I passed him off to James Farr. They talked to James Farr. And by the time I got off the air, James told me that Southern California Edison told him that they were pulling out of Thursday's event.
Wow. What?
Southern California Edison has pulled out of participating in Thursday's event. This is important for a number of reasons, not the least of which is, you let me know when you need to be shut up. I know we got a break.
Yeah, I'll keep us on point.
Okay. This is important for a lot of reasons. First of all, because I said earlier, I respect the integrity that this station has, and I never want to lie to our listeners. And we've been marketing and promoting that you were going to get a chance to hear from Southern California executives at this town hall Thursday night, which many of you have registered for at KBLA1580.com. Let me say right quick, the town hall is going to go on. I ain't done yet. I'm going to lay more of this out when Dominique lets me talk more here. But the town hall goes forward on Thursday, but Southern California Edison will not be there. But you can register at kbla1580.com. And now that we know they're not going to be there, it's definitely going to be on and popping Thursday night. And you all need to come out so that we can show Southern California Edison what we think of them disrespecting,
That's right.
gaslighting, stonewalling, foot dragging, and lying to black people. It's bad enough to have burnt people's homes down, for people to have died in this process, lost everything. That's bad enough. And then you offer a settlement fund, which consumer advocates have called fast but not fair. They call it the fast pay program. Consumer advocate groups have called it fast but not fair. We want to interrogate that Thursday night. Dominique's voice is on the promo you've been hearing every day, every hour on this station. But then to commit to be a part of a town hall, and 72 hours before you pull out of participating, we're not going to tolerate that. That kind of disrespect and gaslighting will not be tolerated by this black station. On behalf of black people in Altadena, I'll pause there and continue whenever you want to come forward.
Dr. Melina Abdullah, I see you shaking your head. You want to chime in real quick here?
Well, I just want to say that accountability, right? That what they did is shameful. What they've been doing is shameful. And Black Lives Matter Grassroots has been on the ground since day one in Altadena, and accountability needs to be there. We need to hold this corporation accountable for everything, including pulling out and refusing to be answerable to the people.
Continue this conversation. We'll find out what the next steps are, what Tavis Smiley has in mind, because you know he always has a plan. That's next on KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
California, this is your moment. The special election is November 4th, and your vote helps decide your future, your community, and your state. Drop your ballot at a secure drop box. Visit an early vote center or mail it. Your participation powers democracy. Every ballot makes a difference. Tell a friend to do the same. Sign up at where'smyballot.sos.ca.gov to track your ballot. Make your voice count. Don't delay. Vote today. A message from the California Secretary of State.
I'm Scott Hansen, host of NFL Red Zone. Lowe's knows Sundays are for football. That's why we're here to help you get your next DIY project done, even when the clock isn't on your side. Whether that's a new Filtrete filter or Bosch and Cobalt power tools, Lowe's has everything you need to feel like the MVP of DIY. So get it done and earn your Sunday. Shop now, in-store and online. Lowe's, official partner of the NFL.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistent sin. All over Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face. When it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
KBLA Talk 1580, standing with you in perilous times. If you've been impacted by the federal government shutdown or the discontinuation of SNAP benefits, you can find a food bank near you that's offering free groceries by going to lafoodbank.org or call 211. Additionally, LA County offers free meals at certain parks. There are meals and snacks for kids and seniors. Visit parks.lacounty.gov to find out which centers are offering which programs and to register in advance. And in addition to offering 2 free meals per day for all students, the LA Unified School District provides weekend meal kits for its students by request. The meal kits can be picked up on Fridays at grab-and-go locations. Please visit lausd.org/Cafe LA. That's lausd.org/CAFELA. We keep us safe. We keep us provided for. We keep us connected. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yes, I'm in the presence of greatness this morning. Dr. Melina Abdullah, Director of Black Lives Matter Grassroots, is with us, and Tavis Smiley, author, activist, and iconic broadcaster, is here. We're talking about this town hall meeting we have planned for Thursday. The town hall meeting will go forward.
Correct.
Tavis Smiley, Southern California Edison, my understanding was they agreed on paper.
In writing,
to
indeed.
be.
That's right.
So how does that work?
So the excuse that they're using to get out of this, and it's all subterfuge. Quinn Emanuel, one of the law firms, there are 120, 150 law firms that are going in on SCE for all the obvious reasons. So they're going to be dealing with plaintiffs for months and years to come. They shouldn't be scared of plaintiffs at this point. That's what happens when you burn people's houses down.
That's right.
And don't take responsibility for it. But Quinn Emanuel is a sponsor of Conversation Live, Altadena Rising. And as a sponsor of that program, they were initially, underline the word initially, going to be involved in this conversation. When we realized there might be a conflict with the plaintiff's attorneys being on the same stage with Southern California Edison, Quinn Emanuel stood down. And for that, I'm grateful. They're sponsoring this, in part, along with the Black Freedom Fund. But Quinn Emanuel stood down so this conversation could go forward without allowing Southern California Edison an excuse to hide behind the fact we don't want to face plaintiff's counsel. Now, the truth of the matter is, as I said, you're going to be dealing with law firms and lawyers for years to come anyway. Why would you be scared to come to a town hall with an opposing point of view? Why would you be scared of that in the first place? But then Quinn Emanuel stands down. So there is no plaintiff's attorney involved in this conversation Thursday at any level. They're not sponsoring it. They're not participating. And we made that abundantly clear to Southern California Edison. How did we do that? We sent them all of our social marketing materials, all of our media materials, all of our collateral. Says nothing about Quinn Emanuel. We sent them the promo running on the air. Y'all hear it every hour. What's it say? Brought to you by the Black Freedom Fund. You don't hear a mention of Quinn Emanuel. We sent them the press release that went out to every media outlet in Southern California, inviting them to cover the town hall on Thursday morning. No mention of Quinn Emanuel. Southern California Edison is full of it. They are fully aware that no plaintiff's attorneys are involved in this conversation. It just underscores why they were dragging their feet all along, because they don't want to face black people. They don't want to answer these questions. So to hide behind the fact that you don't want to face plaintiff's attorneys when there are no plaintiff's attorneys anywhere in the room is just a lie. They don't want to face black people. They don't want to hear these questions. And the panel, as you know, is full of community leaders. There are all kinds of stakeholders who are going to be a part of this conversation Thursday night. And it's just another sign, just another example of the disrespect that Southern California Edison is affording black people. Now, my question is this, Melina and Dominique, if we can't trust Southern California Edison to show up at a town hall meeting, then why would you see where I'm going with this, why would you take a settlement fund they've offered you seriously? They can't show up to answer any questions about it. But they want you to take this fund, this offer they're making to you. You better read the fine print. As we say, measure twice, cut once. So this is, again, just another example to me, Melina, of why and how we can't trust Southern California Edison. In a moment, I'll tell you what we're going to do about that, but that's my sense of it.
Well, I think that we can't trust Southern California Edison because they burnt down black people's houses. They burnt down one of the most historic black communities in the nation, and they're refusing to step up. So I'm not stunned. I'm stunned that it happened the way that it did, but I'm not stunned. I'm not surprised that, people who are behind making profit and being willing to steal black people's lives in order to make a bigger profit are not ethical. They've proven themselves to be unethical, and this is just more evidence of it.
And there's no naivete here, Dominique, but we've been at this long enough to have seen this so many times, and it unnerves me, quite frankly, every time I see it. I don't know how people can be so tone deaf. You know the frame that you're in. Why, 72 hours before a scheduled town hall that's been publicized everywhere, would you pull out of participation?
Well, I think that they don't know what they're up against. I don't think they must have forgot about Tavis Smiley. Perhaps they're not really familiar with KBLA Talk 1580. Maybe they don't know about Black Lives Matter Grassroots. Because if you look at what they've done, they had done some listening sessions, but no, they wouldn't provide any answers. They just had community come and talk. They wouldn't provide any answers. Finally, you got them to agree to actual dialogue.
That's right.
And I think they probably thought you were just going to say, oh, well, we'll pack it up and we won't do this. We'll just cancel the town hall. Wrong. So what's next?
Yeah. What's next is this. I hope you are, if you are, have your phone handy, or if you have a pen handy, I want to give you some information. And if you're not in a position to write this down now, and let me just be clear, some of you know, if you follow my career, we did this on Tom Joyner years ago. This is not my first campaign going after people who disrespect black people. I will not tolerate black people being disrespected or gaslit. I just don't tolerate that. And this black station is not going to tolerate that. So in my Tom Joyner days, we had to do this from time to time. And so I know how effective these campaigns can be if every one of us takes it seriously. Now, in the almost 5 years this station's been on the air, we have never come on this station and asked you to do anything remotely like what we're asking you to do. But if this station has meant anything to you, if you've been empowered by any conversation, entertained by any dialogue, if KBLA Talk 1580 means anything to you, but more to the point, if protecting and honoring and dignifying black life means anything to you, you need to step up in this moment. Here's all I'm asking you to do. I want to give you the name, the email, and the phone number to Mr. Pizarro at Southern California Edison. And we're going in, y'all. We're going to email him. We're going to call him. And I'll come on this show every day for an update for 10 minutes, followed by my own show for 3 hours. But we're going to stay on this until Southern California Edison responds to this disrespect, this gaslighting, this lying, this obfuscating, this pulling out of this Thursday night town hall talking to black people. Here's the email, and then I'll give you the phone number. Pedro, Pedro, Pizarro, Pizarro, SCE.com. Pedro, Pedro, Pizarro, Pizarro, SCE.com. Pedro.Pizarro, SCC.com. The phone number to get a message to Mr. Pizarro at Southern California Edison is 626-302-2255, and then you press the number 1 for a live person. 626-302-2255, and then you press the number 1. I have to believe, because I know how these organizations work, that Mr. Pizarro is not yet aware of what his team has done pulling out of this town hall. I just don't think it's gotten that high up, because I can't imagine that the CEO and president of a company, in the situation that it's in, would make a dumb, stuck-on stupid decision, disrespectful decision for black people like this. He must not know. So you know what? We're going to make sure he knows.
Tavis, I think it's at SC.
Did I say at SC? I'm sorry. Did I say
you
dot
said
SC?
dot, yeah. It's Pedro dot.
You see my blood pressure's up. There you go.
SCE.com.
There you go. My
yeah,
blood
I knew
pressure.
there
Thank you.
needed to be an at in there.
Pedro.Pizarro at, if I said dot, I meant at. Pedro.Pizarro at SCE.com. Everybody got that, right? Pedro.Pizarro, just one Z, Pizarro. Pedro.Pizarro at SCE.com. Now, the phone number once again is 626-302-2255. You have to press the number 1 to get to a live person to get a message to Mr. Pizarro. But starting right now and all day today and for the days to come until we hear from him, Mr. Pizarro is going to hear from us about the fact that we're not going to tolerate this kind of disrespect in the black community. And we'll stay on top of this until we get the kind of response that we are looking for. But we got to sustain this. This is one of those moments where we draw a line in the sand. And we say, you will not treat us, you will not maltreat black people. You will not stomp on the graves of black people who didn't survive this fire in this way. You must show up and you must answer questions of this audience and this community and these stakeholders. And that's what Thursday night was supposed to be. Again, the conversation will go forward. I expect all of y'all to show up so we can show en masse Southern California Edison what we think of them in this decision. That's Thursday night at Victory Bible Church. You have to sign up. It's free. Refreshments will be served right after the conversation. We're live on the air. If you can't make it, we're live on the air 4 to 6 here on KBLA. But I want us to pack out this Victory Bible Church Thursday night, 4 to 6 in Pasadena. Go to KBLA1580.com to sign up. It's free, but we need you to sign up. But this is it's nonsensical. And I was up all night, Dominique and Melina, just processing. This ain't my first rodeo, but just processing how in a moment like this, a decision like this can be made by anyone inside of Southern California Edison.
Yeah.
But again, I have to believe that Mr. Pizarro is unaware of what his team has done.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just a ridiculous idea, and I hopefully you're right. It hasn't made it all the way up the chain, Tavis. Someone, Jacqueline Anderson in the chat says, well, now we'll never find out what's inside the settlement. But that's actually not true, because at the town hall, you'll still analyze what the offer is. We'll still offer information. It's just that we won't have the answers from Southern California Edison yet, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So we're gonna stay on it until we until we get the response that we deserve. But again, I'm gobsmacked by the fact that companies continue to do this. And again, Melina, in this particular moment, where we already have a president pushing an anti-black agenda,
Right.
and attacking anything DE&I,
Right.
we can't tolerate this.
That's right.
Not in this one. We
That's
catch
right.
enough hell as it is. We're not going to let them get away with this in our front yard.
Right. Well, I feel like this moment makes folks like Pedro Pizarro, or maybe not, he can say if he didn't know, feel that they can continue and advance that disrespect. They can continue their anti-blackness. And I think, every crisis offers an opportunity.
That's right.
So them pulling out offers us an opportunity to use it as an organizing moment.
That's
right?
right.
We go from victims to organizers.
That's right.
And that's what Thursday night will be if Southern California Edison isn't there. They don't get the space, and we do, and we use it to mobilize and activate community to demand what's rightfully ours.
You know that better than anybody, of course, with BLM Grassroots. If you're listening right now, and you know any electeds, or if you work for electeds, let them know what you heard on KBLA this morning, and let them know what Southern California Edison has done. We need all of our black electeds, Dominique, to call Southern California Edison on our behalf. If you know anybody that works at Southern California Edison, call them and let them know how their company is showing up or not showing up, as it were. If they work at Edison, you know somebody there. You know a community leader. You are a community leader. You need to be calling Southern California Edison. This is not just disrespect of KBLA. It ain't about Dominique. It ain't about Tavis. It ain't about Melina. It's about black people. It's about our brothers and sisters in Altadena who have a right to be face-to-face with these executives, to watch them answer these questions. That's what it's about. It's about black people writ large. So all of us, and again, I repeat, if KBLA has meant anything to you, this is the first time we've ever asked you to engage in a campaign like this. Don't let us down. On behalf of our people, we need you to hit pedro.pizarro at SCE.com. 626-302-2255. Press the number 1. And all this information, Dominique, as soon as I can get off the air, I'm running out here now, back to my office. We're going to get all this stuff posted on our socials. We'll get all this stuff on our,
James Farr is giving me another email. I don't know if
Yes.
they're both correct, but I know James is in the loop. So this one's pedro.pizarro at Edison INTL. I guess that's international. Edison INTL.com.
I think we tried that earlier today, and we
Okay.
got a bounce back on that one.
Okay.
We tried that earlier, James. If you're listening, I know you're about to call in anyway. We tried that earlier, and we got a bounce back. That's why I'm giving the one that I know works.
Gotcha.
So we got a bounce back on the other one. But again, we're gonna use every email we can. But bottom line is, we're just getting started right now. We're ready for news, traffic, and sports. I'm talking too long. But all this information will be on our socials, on all of our platforms. We will keep you updated. I may be back on this program tomorrow with an update. But we're going to ride this until we hear from Mr. Pizarro, and we'll keep you in the know. But spread the word right now. The Southern California Edison is disrespecting, gaslighting, lying, and now pulling out of a conversation with black people. And KBLA Talk 1580, so long as we are here, we're not tolerated.
Tavis Smiley, thank you so much. Melina Abdullah, you'll stay with me. We'll keep it going after news, traffic, and sports on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Detroit, Michigan City Clerk Janice Winfrey urges residents to vote in today's election that will choose the city's next mayor. With over 519,000 registered voters, she's concerned turnout may only reach 18 to 23%.
You want this community to look and operate in the way in which you want it to operate, then get up off your couch and vote.
Winfrey says every vote counts. A black family's off-roading trip in rural Georgia turned terrifying when a white man approached them with a gun instead of offering help. The incident, caught on video in Toombs County, has gone viral, sparking outrage and calls for justice. And millions face rising healthcare costs as Affordable Care Act open enrollment begins. Without renewed subsidies, premiums could jump 114%. The Biden-era tax credits expire soon, impacting 22 million Americans. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers won their fourth straight game Monday night. They put together a 123-115 win in Portland, and they did it without LeBron, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reeves. Doncic has a bruised leg. Reeves has a groin injury. DeAndre Ayton filled in for the Big Three with 29 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 block shots. The Lakers are 6-2. The Clippers came up 1 point short last night against Miami. Better ball handling might have changed the outcome. The Clippers committed 20 turnovers in their 120-119 loss at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. 29 points and 8 assists for James Harden. The Clippers are 3-3. The college basketball season tipped off last night. The UCLA women's team, ranked number 3 in the country, beat San Diego State 77-53. The Bruins have their sights on a return trip to the Final Four. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
There's a lot of noise out there, so let's keep it simple for a moment. Donald Trump is trying to rig the next election by packing districts with Republicans to guarantee they win more seats. You follow me? If they succeed, Republicans will keep control of the entire government in 2026 and continue enabling Trump's runaway attacks on our rights. You still with me? California is the only state big enough and bold enough to stop him. If we vote yes and pass Prop 50, we can temporarily change California's congressional maps and fight back against the election rigging happening in Texas. Make sense? My mother told me that if a bully hits you, you hit him back. We can hit back by voting yes on Prop 50. The election is November 4th, and you can vote early now. The stakes are too high to sit this out. Stand up to the bully. Choose to fight back by voting yes on Prop 50 on or before November 4th. Ad paid for by Yes on 50. The Election Rigging Response Act. Governor Newsom's Ballot Measure Committee. Ad committee's top funders. HMP for Prop 50 and Fund for Policy Reform.
Find a righteous rage and don't be afraid to say what you see. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
The president of the Prince Fan Club is in the studio with me. And no, we didn't call each other and coordinate our green matching outfits.
And I don't have on black today. That's weird.
Yeah, see that? And even Miles is in green. Synchronicity. But look, James Farr is going to join us. He really tracks the Altadena Eaton fire stuff, and we're going to get more information from him. But our original plan was to talk about these attacks on Black Lives Matter. So first of all, I just want to get this in a little bit. We'll talk more about it, I guess, soon.
Yeah.
I know you did a show on Saturday, and folks can, track that on Facebook and go back and listen to it.
Right.
But the president put out a memo. Well, he finally signed this memo, which is basically saying he's coming after Black Lives Matter and Antifa, as if Antifa was an organization, and one other group. I can't remember what it was. What's your response to that?
It's not surprising. I mean, we know that he's not a fan, and we're not fans, right? We know that he's just declaring a war that already existed on Black Lives Matter. So we're ready, and there's nothing more dangerous than pretending that you live at peace when they've declared war on you. So we're ready. We're sharpening all our tools, and we're ready, and we're not afraid of a fight.
Well, we know that about you. Surprise. I'm like,
right.
I have a friend texting me saying, oh, you've got 2 Virgos on fire in your studio. It's about to be war.
Yeah.
I understand that. I also think it's important for people to be aware of it so that we can
That's right.
Give everything that is said, everything we read, the side eye.
That's right. That's right. Everything the side eye, and also double down on our organizing. We have to double down on our organizing. Make sure that we are committed to doing the work, right? So when war has been declared on you by a fascist, the only thing that overpowers it is more people. People power trumps fascist power, right?
Yeah, it's the only thing that does.
That's right.
And to me, that is the antidote to fear.
That's right.
Remembering that people have the last word.
That's
Always
right.
have. Ask Marie
So
Antoinette.
yeah, absolutely. So here in Los Angeles, what that looks like is showing up for our Black Lives Matter Grassroots Los Angeles organizing meeting on Sunday at 7 as we organize ourselves. It looks like being present to do mutual aid that the president is attempting to cut, right, through SNAP benefits. So we'll have, that's okay, we feed our people. It's not okay, but we'll feed our people, right? It looks like making sure we show up in Altadena and be there and hold the corporations that he is holding and funneling money to, hold them accountable. And so we need everybody to double down on the work, and the work is being carried by Black Lives Matter Grassroots. The Grassroots is super important. BLM Grassroots needs your voice, we need your body, and we need your resources so that we can continue to move things in the way that they need to go for the freedom and liberation of our people.
And then, of course, before we bring in James, I also want you to weigh in on this reported investigation by the Department of Justice on Black Lives Matter's Global Network Foundation.
So 3 super quick points. 1, BLM Grassroots is not a part of, we are not affiliated with the Global Network Foundation. In fact, we sued them because they swindled us out of our money, our platforms, and our good name, right? So we're not a part of them. That said, we believe them to be liars, frauds. We know them to be liars, frauds, and thieves. But even with that, we do not delight in their demise, especially criminal prosecution. We're an abolitionist organization, and so the enemy of my enemy is not my friend. So the Trump regime that's now criminally investigating the Global Network Foundation are not our friends just because they're investigating someone that we know to be frauds, liars, and thieves. Third, it's really, really important that we do the work, that we not be scared out of doing the work. And so one of the things that I wrote about for my column this week is wisdoms from my mama. And my mama says, just do the work and be as righteous as possible. And so we'll continue as Black Lives Matter Grassroots to do the work and be as righteous as possible. And we need everybody to plug in on that.
And that column can be found in the LA Sentinel and on your Substack and a few other places, right?
Absolutely. LA Sentinel. And then it'll be republished in the LA Progressive.
Yay. Okay, so I think people that listen to this show shouldn't be confused, but I guess we get confused. And I think when you read about this investigation of Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation, you need to consider the source. If it's in the New York Post, that's a right-wing rag. They're going to try to confuse you further. And I also think we know that the lead investigator, supposedly the tip of the spear on this, is Bill Asaley, who used to be an assemblyman in this state. And we know that at any moment he can turn on people that are actually doing the work.
That's right. That's right. Well, this article came out in the Associated Press and the Washington Post.
Right. Those are
so
legit
they're
news
legit
sources. Yeah.
news sources. So I know GNF is saying they're not under investigation. They are liars, frauds, and thieves. So they're probably lying about that. It doesn't mean that we're happy that Bill Asaley, who's also a devil, he's the same person who was put in place in the U.S. Attorney's Office, who overturned a conviction against a Los Angeles County sheriff, the sheriff,
that deputy,
who body slammed a Black woman elder in the grocery store parking lot. So he overturned that conviction. So Bill Asaley is also a devil and, a stand for Donald Trump. So we got to remember that there's more than two sides to a story.
Right. But also, just to be clear, GNF, the Global Network Foundation, has nothing to do with Black Lives Matter Grassroots. That's why we say Black Lives Matter Grassroots is
Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, our colleague and friend James Farr is joining us. He writes for the LA Progressive. He also hosts Conversation Live, Altadena Rising, on Saturdays after your show, Dr. Melina Abdullah, at 10. James Farr, good morning.
Good morning, Dominique. Good morning, Dr. Abdullah.
Can't wait to get your take and hear your thoughts on what's happening with this town hall. But she's been waiting, so we're going to bring in Molly Bell straight out of Compton, and then we'll check in more with you. Okay, James? Good morning, Molly Bell.
Reparations in memory of our ancestors. God bless morning to you, Dr. Melina and James Farr. While Tavis was talking and he gave out the number, I called it. And I pressed the 1, and a man named Scott answered the phone. And I told him that Tavis was on the air. I said, "You're going to get a lot of calls today." I said, "So, well, you know us." I said, so he said, "So what's up?" I said, "Well, you guys canceled to come and talk to our people about what happened with Edison and what happened in Altadena, Pasadena, all up in the hills, everywhere." And he says, I said, and Tavis Smiley was on the radio. That's what I said. And I said, he gave us and I said, and he gave us the number to call, so I'm calling. So he said, "What's your number?" Well, I have two phones, landline and a cell phone, so I gave him both of my numbers. I ain't scared. Tavis, we got Tavis and Dr. Melina and you, James, because I go with it with James sometimes. We're going to do it. So he took my number, took my information, and I told him, "You better get ready." He says, "Well, I'm on a bus right now." But I didn't want to hear his story.
So you told him get ready. He's getting a lot of calls. And for those who didn't hear it, it's 626-302-2255, and then you press the number 1. And so he took your number, and then that's it? He didn't try to reassure you? He didn't have much else to say?
Oh. Well, he read them back to me, and so, I have a landline and a cell phone, so he took it. So I said, but I told him, I can talk. I said, but you gonna get way more than this. So everybody else in between start calling that numbers and do exactly what Tavis Smiley said. And Dominique, I have never seen Tavis that upset.
Yeah.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen him that upset, and I listen to him, but I don't usually go in the chat room because I would probably have something wrong with my fingers if I did all the chats. But anyway, you prayer warriors, you know what you got to do: keep fasting and praying, because the struggle continues. But always, to God be the glory. And thank you, Miles, for letting me say something.
And Molly Bell, thank you for doing that. She set it off.
That's right.
We got our marching orders from the OG original griot activists there. And a couple folks, S in the chat says, I sent an email. Chapter 38 Wine says they sent an email. Forensic Accountant just said they sent an email. So it's starting. It's starting. James, I know,
I'm here.
I know you're surprised, but not surprised.
I'm not surprised, Dominique and Dr. Abdullah, but what is surprising is what the representative that I spoke, Tavis, laid out everything, but what that representative said to me in our conversation yesterday is what he didn't say publicly. So I'm going to go ahead and say exactly what I was told. I was told by a representative from Southern California Edison that they were concerned that this event, this town hall, this North Star that we have as a means of bringing Edison into community, they equated it and was concerned about it turning into a, and I quote, Jerry Springer show.
What?
They don't listen to KBLA.
How disrespectful, though. How disrespectful that black people who've been victimized by fires would be compared to a show where they focus on it's not a you are not the father moment.
Right.
How disrespectful. What a caricature they're drawing of black community. How disrespectful. I feel so insulted by that. James, what was your response? Because I know you had something to say.
Well, my first response was, excuse me. But she said it not once, not twice, but 3 times, and almost with the confidence that she had said that before, right? So that was what they had casted KBLA, casted Mr. Smiley, casted myself. And
casted black community.
The community. That's exactly where I'm landed with that, Dr. Abdullah. And so, my response to them was, I'm just taking it in. I had to level set as not to react in a way that Richmond in me wanted to talk. But I had to maintain professionalism, and that speaks larger to, as a black journalist, as black media, we have to be twice as good and 4 times as better. I'm not afforded the opportunity to say, what the did you just say to me? It's so disrespectful.
Okay, so this person said this to you, but I mean, you're talking about the Tavis Smiley show. We're talking about your show. Actually, there's no show on this station that's giving Jerry Springer.
No.
Even when we're silly, we're not stupid.
The unfortunate part, we are all communicators, right? We communicate for a living. We have command of English. We are forward thinking. But this is what happens when you have good intended white people having white moments in corporate boardrooms. Someone thought it was okay to compare this witness and observation that we are standing in the gap of for our community. I'm standing right now looking at the utility poles that burned 25,000 people out of their homes, that killed 19 people, that 430 people and counting have been attributed to post-fire deaths. I speak every day for hours with people who are trying to reassemble their life. Edison says this compensation plan, they want to be fair and they want to build the future. Nobody's talking about the damn future. We're talking about a past that they stole their negligence for 50 years ago when that power pole should have been taken out of the ground. So I wonder, do they live and sleep well at night, knowing that the legacy on Mr. Pizarro is you burnt out a black community on your watch?
Yeah.
Well, I don't care if they sleep well at night. I demand accountability. We demand accountability
Absolutely.
for our people. Tandiwe was just sharing with me that Trump said he knows he's going to hell.
Yeah, he
Pizarro.
did say that. He did say
Pizarro.
that.
There's people who don't care about going to hell. They don't care. They care about what they're afforded right now in this life, and so we need to make sure that they're held accountable in this life. So I don't care if they sleep well at night. I think that we got to demand what's ours, and this isn't. I'm very rarely am I speechless, but to compare it to a Jerry Springer is, yeah.
Let me silence you like they are attempting to silence us. We were hosting this event in a church.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In a house of God, in a worship center, in a sanctuary.
Well, we are hosting it there. It's still happening. So
we are.
Yeah.
Yes, that is correct. And I want to see everybody to make sure
and
you call.
People
Edison.
need to come out and turn up and use the church what it was used for. The historic use of the black church is so that black people can organize ourselves and move ourselves forward in the way that the Most High intends us to. So let's show up there Thursday night and do that.
All right, we're going to keep this conversation going. When we come forward, James Farr is here, Dr. Melina Abdullah is here, and Dominique DePrima, that's me on the mic. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
California, this is your moment. The special election is November 4th, and your vote helps decide your future, your community, and your state. Drop your ballot at a secure drop box. Visit an early vote center or mail it. Your participation powers democracy. Every ballot makes a difference. Tell a friend to do the same. Sign up at where'smyballot.sos.ca.gov to track your ballot. Make your voice count. Don't delay. Vote today. A message from the California Secretary of State.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone, and should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DePrima on First Things First.
It does, and Dr. Melina Abdullah is with me in the studio. You can follow her at Doc Melly Mel. You can follow her at BLM Grassroots on all platforms, and please do. You can find James at James Farr Live everywhere. I'm at DePrima Radio, DIPRIMA, and then radio, and Miles Low is Miles Low Music. Look, it's election day. We know you got a lot on your plate. If you haven't voted already, you have until, what, 8 o'clock tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to get it done. You can even still fill in your mail-in ballot and take it to a county
and just
drop
drop
box.
it in the drop box.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going right after this. We do have to vote. There's only one thing on the ballot. People called me and said, where's the voter guide? There's only one thing on the ballot. Only one thing on the ballot. I'm going and I'm voting yes on Prop 50.
And I voted yes on Prop 50 as well. And I recommend that. Just vote. Just show up and vote, because it's, it's important, and it's today, and there's only one issue.
Right.
We've talked about it ad nauseum. You can go on YouTube and hear all of our old shows about Prop 50. We talked about it yesterday, the day before that, the day before that, the day before that. So if you're confused, go on our YouTube or wherever you get your pods and hear what everybody had to say about it. But I'm voting yes. Doc is voting yes. I think James even came over to the yes side.
I did. Friday Jones made a great argument the other day. Sharon Kyle makes another great argument. But I did. My wife helped me decide that
I'll go,
voting
Mrs.
yes.
Farr. I need to get her on this show. She has magic powers.
I learned some lessons from last November. All right, leave it at that.
You were on the right side in November. What you talking about?
No doubt, no doubt, and the right side of the couch too. Hey, it is what it is. We continue to fight.
Yeah, well, of course, for those that don't know, James was a West Abdullah voter, and about building that third party. People mistook him for a Trump voter because he was talking smack, but he was a West Abdullah voter. And now he's a yes on 50 voter, thanks to Mrs. Farr.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I just wanted to, we got so much going on around here. So we're asking you to make a phone call and or write an email along with your vote. Just think of it as your big assignment. Your midterms are today, Election Day 2025.
Well, and we always say we got to vote and organize. So we lift up our ancestors, right? We lift up Mrs. Fannie Lou Hamer. We lift up Kwame Ture, right? We lift up these righteous warrior ancestors who helped us be able to vote and said vote is important. If voting weren't important, they wouldn't try to block you from voting, right? So we have to vote, but what we can't do is just leave it at the ballot box. So it's not enough to only vote. We also have to organize. That's essential to our freedom.
And James has been very careful and conscientious to be sort of neutral about Southern California Edison up until this point. My reaction to the settlement offer has been this. To me, this looks like a whole scam. And I know people got to make their own decisions. That's why I think it's important for you guys to show up to the town hall, because even though Southern California Edison has pulled out, number one, they could change their mind if enough of us call and email them. But number two, even if they don't, there's going to be good information there. And we want to make sure that you make an informed decision, because continuously ripping off and robbing black people of generational wealth and their homes and their legacies is just not okay. And we're not going to stand by and let that go down.
It's also an opportunity to organize, to be with other people who are as enraged and committed as you are.
Go ahead, James.
Yeah, that is happening. Folks are on the ground organizing, and you're right, Dominique. I tried to maintain some objectivity. I've been very candid in my weekly show on how people in the community are perceiving it. But I'm going to say it right now. Southern California Edison is asking a whole lot of people for $2. That's just the bottom line. And I encourage everybody to come out to this town hall this Thursday at Victory Bible Church. You're going to really find out what I know, what I think, and how I've been tracking this. And as my community knows, KBLA delegation knows, we're going to speak truth to power. We're not blacking down. And I'm so grateful for you, Dominique, serving as a portal for this show to be on air. And Dr. Abdullah, you know my love for you, and thank you for being on the ground in this community, helping with relief from day one. I greatly appreciate that, as does this community.
Yeah. I want to give out the address, the email address, and the phone number one more time. To Mr. Pedro Pizarro, the president of Southern California Edison. We want him to hear from us. Pedro.Pizarro, Pizarro, at SCE.com. Pedro.Pizarro at SCE.com. The number 626-302-2255, 626-302-2255, and then you're going to push option 1 to get to a human and let them know that you don't appreciate them hiding, and thinking they can get away with it, and thinking they can get away with canceling and ignoring black people.
That's right. And James, I just want to lift up how important your work is, right?
Yes.
We have to have people who are focused on all of these areas where we have to fight for black liberation. And nobody has been more committed to getting justice for our folks in Altadena, for lifting up stories and for talking about the importance of black community, because these aren't just individual stories. This is about one of the most historic and important black communities in this nation. And so the work that you're doing is vital, and we're honored to be a part of that work. And we all mobilize, and we're going to fight, and we're going to win for our people. We're going to get as much justice as we can. So we're going to turn up on Thursday, but we also going to turn up right now by calling Pedro Pizarro and make him feel what it feels like when he tries to wrong black folks.
That's right. Dr. Melina Abdullah and James Farr, thank you very much. It's time for Tavis Smiley's show. You know he's got a great one for you today. Like my mama used to say, history is now, and we are making it together. Until tomorrow, one love.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Detroit, Michigan City Clerk Janice Winfrey urges residents to vote in today's election that will choose the city's next mayor. With over 519,000 registered voters, she's concerned turnout may only reach 18 to 23%.
You want this community to look and operate in the way in which you want it to operate, then get up off your couch and vote.
Winfrey says every vote counts. A black family's off-roading trip in rural Georgia turned terrifying when a white man approached them with a gun instead of offering help. The incident, caught on video in Toombs County, has gone viral, sparking outrage and calls for justice. And millions face rising healthcare costs as Affordable Care Act open enrollment begins. Without renewed subsidies, premiums could jump 114%. The Biden-era tax credits expire soon, impacting 22